After watching the film of our last game, I was encouraged because I thought that after the first 3 turnovers and the first 3 touchdowns they scored from the 24-yard line in, I thought that we played hard. Obviously made some mistakes, but played them pretty even after that. So we're looking forward to the last 2 games of the year and hopefully one more after that. No, Dontrell has he must have got hit in the back. He's sore. His lower back sore, but they've done MRIs, they've done X-rays. He's going to be fine. Hopefully, he's going to try to practice today. He looked pretty stiff walking around this morning, but he's going to try to practice today. Hopefully, he'll be all right by Saturday.
And Thomas will take his place then if he can't go on Saturday?
Yeah, Jordan Thomas will be the starting. In fact, Jordan will start this week because we're going to hold Dontrell to minimal reps. I don't think there's any concern about us being focused for the game. There's concern about playing UNLV. It's senior night, and 2 years ago we were there on senior night, and they had a similar situation. In fact, their coach had already been fired, and they beat us. If you look at the scores and look at their record, they're 0-6 on the road, but they're 2-2 at home. Plus, they were 14-14 with Boise State at halftime. So at home, they're a better football team than their record shows. So there is all kinds of concerns.
Coach, how impressed were you with Adam Blair?
Well, I thought Adam would do that. I mean, I've said from the beginning of the season that we had a couple of 3 young running backs that were pretty good, but no one would know it because we had Walter and Ronnie. Well, it's not a good thing that we got to see Adam play, but you can tell Adam's got some talent. And there's a couple other freshmen back there that have some talent too. Now, I hope they just get to watch most of the time, and Walter gets well and Ronnie stays, but that's one of our deepest positions.
How's Ronnie looking this week?
He ran around a little bit on Sunday. I didn't see him yesterday. He's been cleared to practice. Obviously, we'll be careful and give him. We'll watch how many reps he gets in practice, but we'll see how he does in practice, and hopefully he'll be. Now, I don't think once you get a high ankle sprain, I don't think you're 100% the rest of the season. Miles Burris got one, I don't know when, 2 or 3 weeks into the season, and he's been playing on it ever since. And it gets to a point that you can play with it, but it never feels 100%. So hopefully we'll get Ronnie close to as 100% as we can, and he can play well.
What in particular does Las Vegas present to you guys in terms of challenges?
Well, the last couple of weeks they've decided, in my opinion, they decided to start practicing for next season. They've got 3 really good running backs. They're starting to pound the ball. They rushed for almost 300 yards against Air Force, and they're pounding the ball inside, and then they're using play-action pass to get big plays. So they're developing their team. They're developing their toughness. It's a little bit like wishbone teams. That way they keep the ball away from you, and if you look at the statistics, their time of possession, they're second in the league in time of possession. So the more times you have the ball, the more chances you have to score. Plus, that also keeps the other team off the field. Now, and they've done a good job. If you look at the statistics, they've done a great job on turnover ratio. They've only turned the ball over 15 times. And so I look for a tight, close game, which is not what anybody wants to see.
Coach, sort of looking ahead, where would you like to end up in a bowl, or if you're able to?
Does it matter? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter what bowl game we go to.
Relying on stats a little bit, your second half defensive stats are pretty spectacular in terms of the point totals holding the other team.
Seems like we talk about this every week. Yeah, I know. We've tried several different things that hadn't worked. So I honestly believe that we have yet to mature on quote quote big games. I think we're still treating them like big games. So we emotionally go into the game excited, and instead of going into the game to play ball, we go into the game to run around and go crazy. And after a while, we settle in and we play well. I think maybe we're a little too emotional before the game. We're not treating every game the same. We're not treating the game. We're not preparing the same way. I mean, we are at practice, but in their minds, they haven't clicked over to that mentality yet. Someday we will.
Did you say anything in regards to that pregame before the Boise State game? To try to...
We say something about that every single day. Not just the day before the Boise State game, not just the day before the Michigan. We say it every day. I mean, if you have children, you know they believe what they want to believe. Sooner or later, we'll convince them, and then we'll be on our way.